Welcome to Checkmate City. Today we are going to learn how to create a plan when you does not know what to do. So I will create a plan for you and a four simple step plan. So after following this, I think you gain some knowledge about it. Let's see the fourth step plan in detail. King safety. Let's see a game for this, right? Here white plays the move knight f3, d5, e3, knight f6, b3, bishop g4, bishop b2, knight d7. These are the developing moves. Like if you are a beginner, you think that why they need to develop his knight to c6. Instead they develop the knight to d7, and the bishop is slightly passive in b2. You think as beginner, but the grandmaster thinks that there are many ideas and there are many plans. So they are thinking ahead of us, and their way of thinking is different from us. So let's see how this game goes. He play bishop e2, bishop takes e5, d3, c6, knight d2, bishop d6, castles, queen e7. So from this position we will calculate, right? This is a simple middle game, right? After I think 10 to 12 moves, right? After 12 moves this position arise. So let's see, and let's see what are the imbalances, right? So let's see the first two. King safety. So as a white we have the safe king, right? This king is placed before or after these three pawns, right? These pieces are with the king and support of the king, so they will contribute the safety for the king. So right, black's king is slightly weak, and it's not weak. In the next move he will castle, either short castle or long castle, right? So let's create a plan. So from this you see the king safety, so white king is safe. So go to rule number 2, worst piece. So let's see what's the worst piece in this position. Our bishop is slightly passive, but it's controlling e4, g4, right? In future, if you play e4 and d4, you can use this bishop in these diagonals. So it is a normal passive piece, and knight d2 is simply passive. It does not control any important square, and bishop b2 also passive. It does not control any important diagonal but a normal diagonal. And this bishop is passive because it is being a pawn. This knight is, and in its natural square it does not play any role, and this knight does not play any role in the natural square. You can play knight b6. And let's see the rule number 3, pawn breaks. What are the pawn breaks in this position? You can play that e4, but black will play simply a d4. It's simple, right? There is no pawn breaks. Or further you can play c3, but it weakens d3. So it's not a great plan. So the pawn breaks would be c4, it weakens the d3, so can't be played. And you can play bishop e2 and f4, but this e3 will become weak. So there are so many complications to pawn break, right? So let's see the fourth rule, target. So what are the targets for white here, right? The target for white would be nothing, simply nothing, right? He just develops his pieces and bring his king to safety. So from here only you need to have a plan. So the player of white decides that he's going to target the king, right? If white here plays the move h3, something like that, he can castle long side, right? The castling short side or long side is based on this move. It can be h3, or you can play queen e2. Whatever move you play, he will long castle, or he have some idea. But here white play the move e4. He clearly intended that he is going to attack on the queen side, right? So if now black castles, he must be in danger. So he short castles, right? So here we are going to calculate the simple thing, right? You need a plan, and the plan need not to be a single plan, right? You can have various number of plans. That's why grandmaster thinks differently. There are many plans here, right? But as explanation, this game has a simple plan, right? How he executes, let's see, right? The player has a simple plan, which is to bring this knight to f5. What are the ways? Can you tell me? He can come with knight c4, knight e3, knight f5, or knight f1, knight f1, knight e3, knight f5, or knight f1, knight g3, knight f5, or he can play knight b1, knight c3, knight e2, knight g3, knight f5. It takes 5 moves. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the shortest route is knight f1, knight e3, knight f5, or knight g3, f5. So it's simply 3 moves. So the white decides to put his knight on f5, right? This is the simple plan. Simple plan. So let's see how he continues. He plays g3. He is going to put his knight on e3, right? He is going to play f1, e3, f5. He's not going to g3, right? Knight to g3 is not going to be played. So he plays g3, move, rook d8, bishop g2, rook e8, queen e2. He is just developing the pieces. Queen e6, e4. Now he is making a square for his knight, right, to go. Because if in further black plays d4, we will play e4, then this square will be occupied by this pawn. So he play further, right? He play e4, knight f8, rook d1, knight g6, knight f1. Now he plays bishop c5, right? He is thinking that I do not want this knight to be on f5. So if you play knight e3, I will take this, right? If he plays bishop e3, queen e3, so he has double bishop advantage. The white has double bishop advantage. So there is a simple plan, right, to place the knight on f5, but he also have another plan which is double bishop advantage. So the bishop advantage is for white. So now black play the move d4, which is not the great move because he just mobilizes the structure. White has a great pawn structure, and black leaves something in the king side, right? The complete king side could be controlled with white pieces, right? This squares would be controlled by white pieces. So let's see how he manages to do that. Queen e2, knight e7, rook f1. Yeah, he's going for the king side, right? He's going to push f4, f5. There are going to be attacks. Queen d6, bishop a3, c5. Yeah, now he mobilizes the queen side completely because then these pawns are simply not going to move anywhere. So it's completely freeze, and he can bring the bishop to c1 and g5, right? So he just mobilizes the queen side and coming for king side. Rook e1, knight b8, which is simply nothing, right? He's thinking that why he goes knight b8. He think that he need to come like this, but it's too late because f4, f5 is simply coming, right? Bishop c1 first, then f4, f6, f5. Here queen h5 would be better because then f5 would be great to bring g4, g5, then rook f3, rook h3. But he earlyly played f5, right? Knight f8, g4, which is also slightly a miss. But as a human, we think that we need to attack the deadly king, right? King f7. The mistake is that, right, if queen h5 will be played, the king can't move. Yeah, it will be in the king side. So because of g4, he is taking the king and ran out. g5, king e7, rook f3. So this is the plan, but the king is not in the king side. This is the simple joke, right? You are attacking the king side, but king is not there, right? He is making all the pieces way to the king side, but the king is not in g8 or h8. The king is safely in the queen side, but the attack is on the king side. So let's see how he continues. He takes the pawn, bishop f3, knight d7, queen g2, a5. It's a simply move, right? Bishop h5 attacking the rook, rook e7, rook g8. He's in a hurry, but okay, it's good to exchange the rooks, but he completely misses. He plays the developing move knight to b6. He plays bishop h6, right? He's going to play the next moves like taking the rook and play bishop g7, right? queen to h4 somehow, right? Queen g3, queen h4, like that he's going to play. Rook c7, rook d1, knight b4, rook d2, king b8, queen g3, king a7, rook g2. He's tripling up his pieces on the g file. Knight c8, simple moves, like, right, he's just making some moves. Bishop e8, which is a important move to attack this rook. Rook c7, bishop f8. Yeah, simply he kept his two bishop on the last rank, attacking his queen, right? I think the queen is trapped. No. It is blocked with a knight, right? Bishop f7, queen b6, bishop e7, rook e7, rook d8, queen d8. The mass exchanges happen, and rook g8. Yeah, these three pieces are going to penetrate into the black's position. Queen c7, bishop e6, knight a7, h4. He is going to take this pawn. h4. He is going to take this h7 pawn in the future and going to make a queen through the h pawn, right? Knight c6, h5, king a7, h6. Yeah, he is going to make a queen, right? Then rook g7, rook takes, queen takes, and queen g7 is coming, right? Knight e8, bishop d5, knight f7, queen g7, queen b6, bishop f7, right? Queen b4. He's trying to penetrate into the white position, but queen f6, queen e1 checking h2, queen f2, rook g2, queen f4, king h3. There are simple checks, and this game, right? Queen h1, queen h4, it cannot be drawn because white is simply a piece up, right? The perpetual is not possible, right? Here queen g4. If you play queen h1, then rook h3, simply there is no checks, right? If you play queen c1, then I can go into queen g7 or f6, right? There are so many moves, and if I can play bishop d5, just safeguard this bishop, simply, right? If you play this, then I will just make a queen. You can't go, right? I will play the move queen g8. There is some checks, but, right, this is a blunder, but I can come here, so it is simply winning for white. So, right, you need a plan in the middle game, right? As I shown that, see, wait, after the move queen e7, there are so many ideas. So here he picks the move or the plan to bring the knight to f5, and it happens, but the plan is the double bishop advantage happens. The knight on c5 does not happen because of the exchange, but the double bishop advantage occurs. Because of that, he brings his bishop to the last rank, right? So there are several plans after the 8 to 10 moves or 10 to 12 moves. You need to create that plan, and you need to know the imbalance. For that, subscribe Checkmate City for more videos.